Hey there. Hey, everybody. This is Minister Eileen Nicole, just coming through with a quick update about the kidnappings in Matamoros. We're also going to be talking about some other things in the news recently. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of relationship stuff because the relationship game, I guess, is just getting out of control, especially with these passport bros thing. So we're going to talk about that. But let me, let's start. Oops, hold on. Here we go. All right, so the Mexican cartel apologizes and turns over 5 men they say are responsible for kidnapping of those Americans. So I think it was a total of 5 Americans or 4. So a Mexican cartel has apologized for the kidnapping of 4 Americans, where 2 were killed. AP reports that 5 men are now in custody, and those responsible acted on their own decision-making while going against the rules. A letter from the cartel reads. So it says, we have decided to turn over those who were directly involved and responsible in the events, who at all times acted under their own decision-making and lack of discipline. The letter reads, adding that those individuals had gone against the cartel's rules, which include respecting the life and well-being of the innocent. Right. All right. So, I think they really don't want that tourism to stop. So they are so they don't want that tourism to stop. So, they're going to make sure that they try to patch this up. Plus, our government gives a lot of money to the Mexico just in federal foreign aid. Last time I checked, it was $50 billion, but it could be more now. Let me see. So additional $200 million. Let's see. So 500. So for the fiscal year of 2018, more than 594 million. So the U.S. that was in 2017. So around 331 million for the fiscal year. So I believe the fiscal year, I'm not sure if that Yeah, so about 331 million, but they were giving us an additional amount every year after COVID happened. So they don't want to miss out on that money. Not only that, the government gives them money, but there's a lot of tourism from the states to Mexico. Like there's an agreement. And if they kill that agreement, that's not only going to kill the foreign aid that's going there, but the money that the travel money. We went to Mexico like 2 years ago, and um, so our group, not me, but some people in our group bought a condo out there. So, there's other opportunities for them to make money from Americans. So if they think that they're not safe there, they're definitely not going to be purchasing condos out there or homes or vacation spots or nothing, none of that. They're going to be missing out on all of it. So they want to keep that where they need to. So I feel like that's what that was. Just clearing that up. Um, but yeah, so it says, bruh, it's time for Mexico to party for the full misery, especially Quella. Stop going to Mexico. Okay, wow. Spring break and summer, excuse me, is approaching. They don't want to mess up that tourist money. The cartel own all them resorts. Wow, I did not know that. And it says, so nobody not baffled by the Mexican cartel having a PR team? No, 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 and like a whole like drafted professional letter to the public. Everybody in the comments says, "Do not mess up the money. You know you messed up when they send you the cartel HR department." This is not funny because two people lost their lives and two people were terrorized for days. Oh, another person lost their life there too, a Mexican citizen. So it's definitely not funny, but these comments, let's read a little bit more. It's about the money. These vacation resorts are owned by the cartel bosses who aren't trying to lose out on tourism income. One line of business is messing up the other line of business just because some low level henchmen want to make dumb decisions. The cartel got HR involved. The cartel is issuing a policy. What in the somebody is lying over there? Now, this cartel is moving like a full-fledged military, though. This is what a military does just to prevent a war. This is like the rules of engagement. You know what I mean? Like somebody has to take responsibility for the error. You remember when China sent those balloons over here, or alleged to have sent those balloons over here? They had to denounce that they did send those balloons, or that's rules of engagement. They can engage in a war if they accuse you of doing something against the country and you don't say anything, that's an admission that you did it and they can engage you. But you have to either admit to it and give instructions on how, denounce it or whatever, or you just flat out denounce it. So this cartel is moving specifically like its own government. That's crazy though. Not the cartel issuing a formal apology. Cartels turning people in and leaving an apology. How do you apply to be a PR for the Park Cartel? What are the qualifications? The cartel having more accountability than the government was not on my bingo card today. I'm done. Do not go back to Mexico. No, that is like that's the overarching point here. Do not go to Mexico. And if you do, don't go to Matamoros. Do not go to Matamoros. That's like the worst place that you can go. It's like literally the worst place that you can go if you're going to go to Mexico. Yeah. The cartel, the real government, I see apologizing. Man, that's what I'm picking up here. That is what I am picking up here. Okay. So on to the next one. Okay, now this is a little, this is an update too. So Bishop Lamore Whitehead faces new federal charges allegedly fabricated bank records to fund New Jersey mansion. Oh boy, this guy. Now, if you've never heard of Bishop Lamore Whitehead, he is one of these propped up preachers. Now, mind you, he was in prison for fraud. That's what he was in prison for. And he got out and decided to be a preacher, which is fine if that's what you're going to actually do. But there's been more than one accusation about him being fraudulent since he turned over a quote unquote new leaf. Anyway, so this reads, Brooklyn's controversial Bishop Lamore Whitehead is being charged with fraud once again. This time, the allegation is tied to his New Jersey mansion. Federal prosecutors charged in a new indictment on Wednesday. So, according to the New York Post, federal authorities are accusing the churchman of submitting fabricated bank records. Listen, that's wire fraud. That is a whole federal crime with the intention of getting a mortgage for the Paramus, New Jersey property. In order to fund the purchase, New York Daily News notes that Whitehead's accused of making it appear as though his LLC had over $2 million, when in fact during that time period his business had an average ending balance of less than $10. What? Whoa. It says, but why would you want to get a house that you can't afford? No, because he knew how he was going to get the real money. I mean, allegedly. I mean, in my opinion, he did this because he had something that he was working on the back end. In my opinion, somebody tag him like he be tagging the Shade Room and Tasha K. Whatever they said he did, he did. Less than $10 is wild. With that Gucci suit he got on, he guilty. I'm done. The comments be having me weak. Nobody knows their Bible like the devil. Ooh, woo. Got to be more careful. The church has to be more careful with the way we are allowing these people who say they mean well and don't prove it. Yeah, let's look at this actual story for the New York Daily News. So, Brooklyn Bling Bishop Lamore Whitehead has been hit with a new fraud charge. A superseding indictment filed in Manhattan federal court details. In June 2018, he applied for a $250,000 business loan for his company Anointing Management Services, LLC, and submitted fake bank documents in his online loan application, prosecutors said. Listen, they are combing through this. They want to take this man down, and they are combing through all his finances because he's tied to financial crimes. So, I mean, it wouldn't be far-fetched for them to be combing through all of his financials. The bishop, who drives a Rolls Royce, has an affinity for Gucci suits and counts Mayor Adams among his pals, didn't get the loan. He continued to use the forged papers until February 2019, including in an application for a $1.3 million mortgage to fund the purchase of his 6-bedroom, 7-bath Paramus, New Jersey mansion, the feds charge. Now, this is him looking like a fool. Right. So the drawn up documents included entirely fabricating a bank account that did not, in fact, exist. Wow. Altering statements to make it look like the company had more than $2 million, when in fact, during that time period, the business had an average ending balance of less than $10. So Whitehead's lawyer, Don Florio, said he intends to fight the allegations. Lamore Whitehead will be pleading not guilty when he is arraigned on the superseding indictment and denies those charges. Nick Bias, spokesman for Manhattan U.S. Attorney Damian Williams, declined to comment. The new wire fraud charges adds to a litany of criminal allegations the feds brought against the 45-year-old pastor of Leaders of Tomorrow International in December, accusing him of swindling a retired parishioner out of tens of thousands of dollars, extorting a businessman, and lying to the FBI. So specifically, the feds say Whitehead persuaded one of his parishioners to invest about $90,000 of her retirement savings with him to help her buy a home. Instead, he allegedly used it to buy himself designer clothing and other luxury goods. Whitehead is accused of extorting a Bronx businessman out of $5,000 and trying to squeeze out another $500,000 in real estate transactions in exchange for leveraging his city government connections. See, that right there, that is a major, major crime. It's almost like quid pro quo. So he is also charged with lying to federal authorities when the FBI came knocking with a search warrant on an unspecified date, and Whitehead said he had no cell phone other than the one on him. In the wake of the charges, Mayor Adams, who has described himself as a mentor to Whitehead, the mayor, and I want you to see this mayor. This is the mayor right here. This is Eric Adams. He's the mayor of New York. Oh boy. He has described himself as a mentor to Whitehead, has previously said he will stand by his friend. I spent decades enforcing the law and expecting everyone to follow it, Adams said in December. I have also dedicated my life to assisting individuals with troubled pasts. While these allegations are troubling, I will withhold further comment until the process reaches its final conclusion. Now, the City Hall press office did not immediately respond to requests. Okay. In September, Whitehead and his wife were robbed at gunpoint of flashy jewelry in the middle of delivering a sermon at his Canarsie Brooklyn church. Is that how you Canarsie? So, shocking footage of the heist showed three gun-toting bandits stunning Whitehead as he stops his sermon and crouches down to lie on the floor. The trio made off with his $1 million in jewelry lifted from him and his wife after they stuck a gun in the bishop's 8-month-old daughter's face. That sucks. Months before that, in May, Whitehead tried to broker a deal for the surrender of Andrew Abdullah, accused in the fatal shooting of Goldman Sachs researcher Daniel Enriquez on the Q train. In an Instagram live session on Wednesday, the bishop said the Fed should be careful because God has his back. For everybody that's praying for me, thank you, man. And for everyone that wish my downfall, thank you, because the Bible says that God says, I'll make your enemies your footstool, Whitehead said. You got to be careful with touching a bishop, even if you feel like I'm not one. I am one. And if you, oh, goodness, what? Come on. And if you become an enemy of God, right, that if you become an enemy of God, right, that's on you. Whitehead pleaded not guilty to 4 of the counts he now faces and is out on a $500,000 bond. So this is interesting because he did have something to do with that negotiation of the trying to get. It's just interesting that he had something to do with that. It's also interesting that he knows the mayor and that robbery happened. It almost seems like, in my opinion, that robbery may or may not have been staged, and he may have gotten some inside information about somebody about to run up on him, and so he had to kind of get some of that money off of him. You know how just recently in the FTX news they found out that was it FTX that Sam Bankman took all that money, where allegedly they arrested him and stuff. That he allegedly took that money from after the fall of this particular crypto exchange. Let's see. Let's go in here. He's shuffled some money to a different account. It just seems like, in my opinion, just that first view, it seems like the same thing, but in a much more in your face kind of way, because he did this behind the scenes. But it seems, in my opinion, it seems like he kind of may have shifted money in a different way by that jewelry, and so he wanted people to know that this happened, because he's a fraudster. So now if he says something happened, files a police report, they might look into that further. But now the police have it. If that is true, if he got robbed in public, the police are handling that, not the FBI. And so now that money is out of the jurisdiction of the FBI, it's now in the jurisdiction of the police because it happened locally. This wire fraud thing happened, on the, electronically. That's just my opinion, though. I think that he's just he's shady enough to pull something like that off. Now, what sucks is that they put that gun in his baby's face. That's not okay. If that did happen, because I watched some of the tape, but I didn't see that, and that could have happened. I just didn't see it. Former FTX chief executive Sam Bankman-Fried, who faces fraud charges over the collapse of the bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange, arrives to the Manhattan Federal Court in New York City. This is in February. It's so crazy that this is all happening in New York. But yeah, they're gonna have his head. A lot of celebrities backed him up to get you to invest in this cryptocurrency exchange. Now, people are gonna look at crypto and be a little like they're gonna look at a little shady, but I don't think that crypto is shady inherently. I believe that you do need to know who it is running the crypto exchange. And also, I don't think that cryptocurrency exchanges should have this open source coding so where everybody can access it. I think it should be private. Banks have their coding private. I don't see why the cryptocurrency exchanges have to be open sourced. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happened with this Bishop Lamar Whitehead. He is currently more charges are on him for putting he faked a whole bank account and said had $2 million in it when it had less than $10 in it. And then, well, it can't have two. Maybe he had two accounts. Maybe he had a real one that only had $10, and then the bank account information that he submitted wasn't even an actual account. And the one that they did find only had $10 in it. But this is wire fraud nonetheless, because you filed you filed the application online to get a 200 and some $1,000 loan fraudulently, though. But I think he's gonna get, he's just doing way too much to out here, way too much out here to not something to stick. And this, he just looks like the Joker. Did you see that? Did you see the Jim Carrey's the Joker? I think it was Jim Carrey. Look, don't he look like Jim Carrey? In my opinion, he just does. Similar, just it has Gucci on it. It's like that's what they were going for. Clown, just a clown. Mm-mm. I'm straight. I'm straight. Here's the thing. I just don't understand how people can sit in the pews and they haven't fasted and prayed about this particular preacher to see if he is, because the Bible says test the spirits by the Spirit to see if it is from God, right? If you have a pastor that's coming under all this, and I'm not saying that, you know, being that he is in politics, or that he's close to the mayor, that people won't try to get at him to get to the mayor, but it's charge after charge after charge, and he has a pastor doing the same thing. And then it says right here, nobody knows their Bible like the devil. I mean, seriously. We're gonna see if this pans out him being the Joker. On to the next story. So this is the third. This is the Glorilla incident that happened the other day. She had a concert, which again, I don't agree with this person. I don't think that people like this should be propped up, and it's more evidence that people like this do not need to be thought leaders. They don't need to be any type of lead. If you ask this person, do they think that they're a leader, or if they are role model. They'll tell you no while at the same time being a role model, or while at the same time bragging that they have people, all kind of people copying them. It's like hypocrisy at the worst kind, though. Cognitive dissonance hypocrisy, because they know they have some type of influence, but they don't care that it's a large magnet, magnetized influence, and it's causing a lot of damage to the Black community. So the third victim passes away following the stampede at Glorilla and Finesse Two Times concert in Rochester, in New York. This is all happening in New York. A third person unfortunately passes away following a stampede that took place at a concert that featured rappers Glorilla and Finesse Two Times in Rochester. According to ABC 24 Memphis, the third victim was identified as Aisha Stevens, 35, from Syracuse. She was the only person that remained hospitalized following the event. Officials shared that she unfortunately passed Wednesday night. As previously reported, the other two victims that passed earlier this week were identified as Rondesia Belton, 33, of Buffalo, and Brandy Miller, 35, of Rochester. These are older women. All of them are older women. I don't know how old Glorilla is. She's only 23. So both of these women are 10 years older than this woman. All three of these women are 10 years older than this woman. I don't know how old this guy is. Um, I think it says he's yeah, he's 30 years old. I just I don't get it. I don't understand why this. You would think that when you get a little bit older, you would understand the severity of having good, positive influences in the Black community. And I'm not saying that everything has to be, doo-wop and unicorns. But if people are dying, that's pretty dark. That's pretty dark. And you have more control over it than you think you do. You can't just sit here and think that this is. I feel like this is some type of ritual. And then they did release statements talking about they're sorry for the fan. They always say that. But the music, though, three women have lost their lives by going to a concert. And remember, Travis Scott's concert, he's still out here touring. He's still out here touring. Um, Travis Scott he's on tour right now. He's in Israel, in Tel Aviv. Um, in a couple of days, he's going to be in Tel Aviv. He's going to be in another. He's international right now. And remember, his festival was the Astro World Festival, which was the astral projection. That's basically what he's saying. Astral world. An astral world is a world that you go into when you astral project, right? Some type of ritual. And when he was up there, he was literally looked like he was summoning a demon. Yeah, we do. I think that if we can, you don't, the music doesn't have to be like, you know, listen, when you go to the international markets, when you listen to Jamaican music or different types of music, they have what they call, um, it's like everyday music, but they're talking about what they do every day. They're not talking about killing each other. They're not talking about um, treating women horribly. They're talking about going to the store, going to work. It's just life music, basically. I don't understand why the music has to be so dark. And it's so dark that people think that it's a game when you have music that's literally conjuring up the type of energy that you don't need around a whole bunch of people. And now three people have lost their lives, and all you can do is issue an apology because there's nothing more you can do. But what you can do is stop making music like this. But they ain't going to stop making music like this because they're making money doing it. People are now going to be looking at the fact that she's getting some people vultures are going to be looking at the fact that she's getting attention from this, and they're going to be wanting to book her more and more shows so that this can happen again. We're going to hear about it again. It may not be with Glorilla or this particular person, but it's going to happen again. If it happened with Travis Scott and that wasn't a look, he's still out here touring. He is Switzerland, he's in Milan, he is all over. Still out here. Crazy. He only 30 years old too. They all selling they catalogs. The rumor is that the music industry is about to be done. There isn't going to be any more music industry, not as we know it. That is the rumor. Everybody's saying this is what Metro Boomin sold his catalog. We know Future, was the Future that just sold his catalog? Yeah. Future sold his catalog. Justin Bieber sold his catalog. Everybody is selling their royalties. Dr. Dre sold his. They said Keith Urban. All these people are selling their catalogs because they know it's about to be a wrap. And they might as well get top dollar for it while they still can. Because people are listen, it's not just the inflation that's happening. People are seeing what this music is. It's no benefit. It's no benefit. You have to really pick and choose now. And they're not going to be choosing this for too long. Plus, this girl right here said that she didn't even know that Fox's was real, and she didn't know that ham was pork. Really? Come on, like, we really do need to do better. We can't keep doing this. This woman says she didn't know that Foxes were real, and she didn't know that ham was pork. She stood outside of Planned Parenthood talking about, I think, RIP. I didn't see the video, but this is what the report was. This woman is not very bright. So you can tell somebody's directing her and guiding her to do something. And it ain't good when other people are running your life. But yeah, so let's go to this next story right here. Okay, so Tiger Woods split from his ex-girlfriend is way nastier and potentially more expensive for him than we thought. So TMZ Sports has learned that she's suing him for $30 million, claiming that he cooked up a scheme to toss her out of their home. I wonder what that scheme was. It says reportedly Tiger Woods didn't think his ex Erica Herman would willingly leave his mansion after breaking up. So he allegedly tricked her into a fake vacation, dropped her at an airport and locked her out of the house. Woo. Now she wants $30 million, and she's going to get at least $1 million. Illegal lockout of a tenant and California palimony law. I'm thinking $1 to $3 million. 30 million is an ex-girlfriend numbers. Ex-wife maybe, but not girlfriend. I don't feel sorry for him. He stay wanting one of them girls. He never goes for an ebony queen. That's why we care nothing about him, and he gets what he deserves. No, I don't want him doing this to no black woman. He can, we don't need that. We already got a whole bunch of, we gonna get to that in a minute. We already got a bunch of degenerates on our tail, so we don't need more of this. Tiger Woods should just stay in a corner somewhere. But check out this extra story. Look. Hold on.
They go everywhere together, and like when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. He's got DUIs, like he cheats on his women.
That DUI photo is hilarious.
It's a great photo. My uncle has told me stories about, like, once I got older, he hooked up with a lot of women, but not only did he hook up with women, he hooked up with dudes.
What?
Dudes.
Wait, so he's gay?
I don't know about gay, but he definitely swings both ways. He's ambidextrous. He's ambidextrous. And this is coming from his caddy of 15 years.
How does nobody know about this?
Nike. They sweep it all under the rug. They're $1 billion company. They can say whatever they want. And the PGA too. Everyone loves Tiger Woods.
What's your uncle's name?
Joe LaCava. He's a good-looking guy.
They might have been hooking up.
I don't want to talk about my uncle that way, but it's a possibility. This is going to sound crazy when I say it, but my uncle was actually his caddy for like 15 years.
Your uncle was Tiger Woods' caddy?
The Tiger Woods, yes. You could say my uncle is the best caddy ever. they go everywhere together. And like, when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. He's got DUIs, like he cheats on his women.
That DUI photo is hilarious.
It's a great photo. My uncle has told me stories about, like, once I got older, he hooked up with a lot of women, but not only did he hook up with women, he hooked up with dudes.
What?
Dudes.
Wait, so he's gay?
I don't know about gay, but he definitely swings both ways. He's ambidextrous.
He's ambidextrous.
And this is coming from his caddy of 15 years.
How does nobody know about this?
Nike, they sweep it all under the rug. They're a billion-dollar company. They can say whatever they want. And the PGA too. Everyone loves Tiger Woods.
What's your uncle's name?
Joe LaCava. He's a good-looking guy.
They might have been hooking up.
I don't want to talk about my uncle that way, but it's a possibility.
So it says, oh, wow, man is currently going viral after claiming his uncle was Tiger Woods' caddy for 15 years and alleges that Woods had sexual relations with men and Nike swept it under the rug. Well, I don't dismiss it as just a rumor. I mean, you know, they say when men can't curb their appetite, they're usually hiding something. Tiger has had 3 caddies his entire professional career: Fluff Cowan, Steve Williams, and Joe LaCava. He turned pro when he was 20. So this so-called uncle was his caddy from 5 to 20. Oh, when Tiger won those 3 consecutive U.S. amateurs and played at Stanford, they carried their own bags. Basic research would have uncovered this. This is the kind of bullcrap I despise, posting stuff with no verifications or standards. Why is Roland Martin so touched by this? Roland, why are you so mad? If Tiger wanted to lay wood with men, then that's his business. I wonder when people's sexuality will no longer be news. When people stop hiding. This is a horrible thing to report, and even if it's true, outing someone is not okay. It's not okay. People are always seeking their 15 minutes, and most times it is in a negative light. This is not cool. So what does this information do for you? Yeah, look, it's a bunch of people whining in the comments. Who gives a F? Let the man live. Why is this our business? Posting this is trash, and look, Roland Martin he is hot. Roland Martin is mad. Roland, hey, dude, this ain't even your business. Why are you mad? Then don't be over here. This is what they do. Tiger Woods is trash to every woman he knows. Why should anybody? He has no discretion in the way that he treats women. So why should anybody have any discretion with the way that they're interacting with him and the stuff that they have to say about him? It'd be different if he was this upstanding guy and this was his private life. But he's trash to everybody. He was trash to his wives. He's trash to the people that they talking about. Everybody love him. No, they don't. Woods, was trash to the Black community. Talking about he wasn't Black. Tiger Woods is trash to everybody. Screw him. I don't care if his business is out. He's not a good person. He's just not. Most of us ain't, but we don't go around being just outright atrocious to people either. So yes. Oh, look at this, y'all. Monique reveals why she closed her open marriage with Sidney Hicks and recalls confronting Oprah Winfrey over their years-long fallout. So Monique is spilling it on her latest interview with Hollywood Reporter that as she opens up on her decision to no longer share an open marriage with her husband, Sidney Hicks. While the comedian previously said that either of them sleeping with other people wouldn't be a deal breaker in their relationship, her viewpoint of sharing Hicks with someone else has certainly changed with time, and with good reason. Life began to happen, she said. I began to see a strength I had never seen before. He loved me at my worst. I didn't want to sacrifice that just for LA, so I grew out of that. Monique first met Hicks when she was in the 10th grade, but it wouldn't be until 2006 when the pair would tie the knot 1 year after welcoming their twins. But her decision to not only share an open relationship with her husband/manager isn't the only thing that's changed for the 55-year-old after having ended her feud with Lee Daniels last summer. As fans will recall, the pair had butted heads over Monique refusing to promote her 2000 movie Precious during awards season if she wasn't going to be compensated since that wasn't part of the contract she signed. Wow. So to me, Monique seems to be the type of person that has to always be at war with someone. I was hoping that once her and Lee resolve their differences, she would be at peace with herself. She targets wealthy black people who could help her career to feud with. Why not the air? Why not air the dirt from someone who was sleeping with your husband who's not famous? I hope she finds inner peace and self confidence without creating a new war with Oprah. Let Oprah live her best life, and if anything, ask her for advice. Black on black bitterness is not the answer, Monique. Enough of the celebrity open marriages conversation. They should keep it private, handle business in private. Will and Jada Smith are the best example of what happens when everything gets put out there into the public discourse and everything becomes chaotic. It sounds like she lost weight and he decided not to mess around anymore. No, when she said that she ended this, I figured because she lost weight and she got confident. Because when you are not so confident with your body, it causes you to accept things that you wouldn't if you were confident with your body. And him cheating on her, she stayed there because she felt like she couldn't do better. That's why she stayed. This is why women stay. They stay in these types of relationships where they're being abused and they call it freedom because they know that they in their mind they can't do anything better than that. But I know that she probably seen Gabby Sidibe because Gabby Sidibe got married. I think she got married already. Um, but I know that she's seen that she still found a man. It didn't matter if she was bigger or not. She still found her a nice man, and they seem to be um, happy. They seem to be monogamous. So she had to have seen that and thought to herself, wow, I want something like that. This is Gabby Sidibe and her um, fiance. It was 2020 and our first ever Valentine's Day together. My love for Brandon tour somehow continues to grow by leaps and bounds. Happy VA. I don't know if they're married yet, but I do know that they did get engaged. Says I love you so much it hurts. Okay, more like it rules. Aw, but you know what I mean. Forever Valentine. But yeah, so I think that she probably seen this. She's seen that because they seem to be pretty genuine. Like, yeah, so I don't know if she actually, wish that I can get him cooking dinner. Oh, it's just peanut butter and jelly. Uh, so good for Monique, I guess. I mean, she, unique. Monique is the queen of always starting some mess. She's been always been the big girl and she's always been the butt of the joke. So I don't think she's ever really taken herself serious. And that's part of the reason why she took this struggle marriage with this man. And everybody said he ruined her career. Everybody said that. Yeah. So I don't know. But let's look at this. Hold on. Let's look at this real quick because see, let me close some of this out. All right. So let's look at these past. Oh, I wanted to share this too. Let's show this Twitter thread. I'm not sure if you guys know who Robert Blake is. I don't really know who he is, but I do know that he killed his wife. Hold on, just so he killed his wife Um, and he got off. He got off. He had a whole trial and everything, but he got off.
I'm still here. I didn't die in that box. I'm still here. You bastards. I'm still here. I didn't die in that box. You got it? I'm still here. I'm 85 years old. I'm beat up all to hell and gone, but I'm still here. And you're still pounding a beat. Smoke that. So anyway, I'm
He's salty. Did he get found guilty? I don't know if he did. Let me see. I thought he got off. Maybe it was somebody else. I thought that he on November 18, 2005, a jury found Blake liable for the wrongful death of his wife and ordered him to pay 30 million. And then in February 2006, he filed for bankruptcy. Mm. Yeah, he did. He was acquitted of his wife's murder, but he was found liable of the death because remember his gun accidentally slipped and she ended up dead in his car. But yeah, so the talented but troubled actor who was accused of killing his wife died today at 89. Did you know that he played the boy who sold Humphrey Bogart the lottery ticket in The Treasure of the Sierra Madre? No, I didn't, and um, I wasn't alive for this. But yeah, so I just thought it was funny because this man he killed his wife, and because he was a Hollywood star, he ended up getting off for it.
How things are, and I
Gail,
just loved you for years.
Gail, how do you like the way his face looks?
I think you look phenomenal.
So do I. So do
I'm
I.
in love.
I'll do this show for
I'm a
nothing if you keep
35-year-old
calling
woman
back.
alone in my apartment, absolutely content.
All right, Gail. Thanks again for calling and have a great
Gail.
weekend.
Feel better, Tom.
When I
That's
get
your
that
mom.
website, you call in and I'll give you something.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Trouble. We're with Robert Blake. We'll continue with
Wise ass.
That's me, Mr. Wise Ass. We'll continue with Robert. You on the toll free right after this short timeout.
But yeah, I think I forgot exactly what happened with the wife. But yeah, he died today. Oh, I grew up in the restaurant that he killed his wife outside of. My grandmother played piano in the back for retired opera singers that would slip me hundreds under the table at 10 years old. Very Italian. Oh, it says he was a family friend. He apologized for involving us. Wow. What the heck? Yeah, so that's I guess that was the news. Oh, this right here. Okay. So right now, Jeffrey Epstein is trending on Twitter. Did you know that High Fiesta remix by Jay-Z and R. Kelly was shot on Jeffrey Epstein's island? Did you also know Jay-Z is one of the people named on the list as a frequent attendee? Did you all know he slept with female rapper Foxy Brown when she was 14? Mm. Well, there's that. Um, Jeffrey Epstein didn't act alone. Trump isn't in Epstein's black book. I've known Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, many of them are on the younger side. I remember this quote coming out from Trump. Now this is him and Trump during the time that they were running together. Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of soliciting underage girls for prostitution, for which he served only 13 months in prison. A sweetheart deal made with U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta, Trump's very own nominee for Secretary of Labor. So Arkansas cops ruled suicide in the death of Clinton aide linked to Jeffrey Epstein, who was found shot and tied to a tree with an electrical cord around his neck. Crazy. Just in, an event is coming that is going to rock the world. A victim of Jeffrey Epstein is releasing 9 videos showing elites engaged in deplorable acts with children. This is what they are distracting you from. Let's see here.
Or knowledge.
Hold
It's yet
on.
to be. Epstein victim is vowed to release videotapes showing elites engaged in deplorable acts with children. If these videos came out, it would change the game and possibly reshape global political and social landscapes. In response to breaking reports and court documents of what could potentially be released, prominent figures among the elite are already scrambling to deny any involvement or knowledge. It's yet to be seen exactly what these tapes contain, but all signs point to an event that could rock our world if it were made public.
Mm. Now that's interesting because, you know, I'm waiting for this Epstein case to crack wide open. The allies of Jeffrey Epstein have no shame. This is Jeffrey Epstein, his partner Ghislaine Maxwell, and close friend Weinstein at Princess Beatrice's 18th birthday party, exclusive invitees of Prince Andrew. This is how a monarchy ends. Look at him in his regalia. You don't get to wear this unless you work for the queen. You don't get to wear these lapels. You earn these lapels. Some say her dad, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, was they said that he was Israeli intelligence, British intelligence, and he worked for the CIA. So they said that he was like an agent, a double agent for. Nobody knew he was Israeli intelligence, so they said he was a double agent. So I don't know, but that's what they said. That's why he ended up dead on his boat with her dad, because they all found out he was secret intelligence. But yeah, you don't dress like this unless you work for the queen. That's interesting. Jeffrey S. Epstein sent images of young women to a senior executive at JP Morgan that the bank knew about but ignored for years. JP Morgan is accused of channeling funds to fund Epstein's sex trafficking across Florida and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Huge allegations being swept under the rug. Now, here's the thing. Florida has a boatload of black people there, and so does the U.S. Virgin Islands. A boatload of black people. Now, the people that they're claiming came out are, these are all Caucasian women, white women. But how many people did he have trafficking? Because you don't hear about any of the other women. How many of the other women were trafficked, and how many of those women are still alive? Because that really is the question. And who were they being trafficked to? It's so interesting because those women are probably still in the in the ring right now. Somebody else took it over. You'd think that that ring was dismantled. No, somebody else took it over. And some are alleging that Jeffrey Epstein didn't really actually die. They just, said he did. I don't know about that, but I do know that somebody else had to have taken it over. It was too big for it to just die out. So late New York financier Jeffrey Epstein sent images of young women to a senior executive at JP Morgan Chase that the bank knew about but ignored for years, according to claims in a lawsuit made public this week. The U.S. Virgin Islands is suing of facilitating Epstein's alleged sex trafficking across Florida and the U.S. territory by channeling funds to fund his activities and by concealing his conduct. The U.S. territory filed its lawsuit last month, although specifics about the allegations were only made public on Wednesday. The lawsuit accuses Chase of participating in a sex trafficking venture. Now, do you know what that means for Chase? They can take Chase down for this. This could be a big fine for Chase. They can definitely knock Jamie Dimon off the CEO. They can take him down for this. That's just crazy. I hope that they do wrap this up. And most importantly, I hope that they get the victims and figure out how to help them process what happened to them. Because some of these girls were coerced, but I don't think that some of them were coerced. I think that some of them very well could have been kidnapped and made to do this. So JP Morgan sues ex-senior banker Jess Staley over Jeffrey Epstein ties. So that's the man. It says, what information would Twitter have on Jeffrey Epstein client list, assuming it's actually contained in a document? It was never on Twitter. People think that Elon Musk has something because Twitter is used in a lot of seedy dealings when it comes to trafficking. Them and Pornhub. Pornhub has gotten caught red-handed with kidnapped victims being put on Pornhub. This has happened multiple times and also on Twitter, but this is when I believe Jack Dorsey was still the head of Twitter. But Twitter has been caught before, for sure, Pornhub, of having kidnapped people being exploited on these sites in terms of porn. They're forced into sex trafficking. They film it and they put it up on these sites. So this is why people are asking, well, what does Twitter have to do with this? Because, that's how they make their money. They put this lady was using basically Twitter and Instagram and Pornhub like OnlyFans. They put up the video, they private message them, and then they make arrangements for whatever, however they're doing it. It sucks, but that's just the way that's what's been happening. But I'm definitely going to be keeping up on this because I've been on this since it came out. I've been listening to a lot of stories about this. Epstein was involved with a lot of politicians. Trump was one, but he was also involved with Clinton. He was involved with almost every politician, according to just different sources. And now this is alleged because he's been the only one that has been charged, but it's going to be interesting to see who actually gets the book thrown at them for this, because we know him and Ghislaine are getting the book thrown at them, but is anybody else going to go down, or is everybody else going to get let off? Because they got convicted of sex trafficking, right? But to who? Who was they sex trafficking? And to who else? And to who? Who was the client? Because that's what you would have to prove in court. Oh, I don't know. All right, so this is the last story here. I wanted to talk about this passport bro stuff. It's so weird that this is what's actually happening. So here is this it? Here we go.
You took busy time out of your day to make this video.
Hold on. Is this the one?
Industry that exploits women.
Hold on.
You took busy time.
Industry that exploits women.
You took busy time out of your day to make this video. There can't be exploitation if the women are willing participants. Prostitution is legal in Brazil, bruh. Do your research before you make a video like that. Those women down there depend on this money, and not just from the passport bros, but from passport traveling men around the world and women as well. So know what you're talking about. Second of all, many of the passport bros are going down there looking for wives, and all over the world looking for wives. Know the movement before you start yik-yakking. And then third, Brazil's got bigger problems than that. Seems like they got a lot of devil worship and occultism going on down there. So talk to them about that and get that fixed and leave us alone, because we don't passport bros.
Ugh, that's nasty.
Slavery was once legal. Doesn't mean the people that were involved were willing participants. Sometimes I'm wondering if you guys should even be allowed on Pootie Tang's internet with this foolishness that you talk about.
You guys know that thin eyebrow look that's been going around lately?
Concept. of your reasoning behind supporting the skin trade. You're actually telling me that a Brazilian women actually enjoy being prostitutes. This is what you're trying to tell me. That the fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers in Brazil are all proud of their daughters being involved in the skin trade. This is what you're trying to convince me of. I don't care about no devil worshiping. I don't care about none of that shit, because actually you guys are participating in devil worship by allowing yourself to go down to these countries and exploit their women. What could be more evil than that? What could be more luciferic than a man that knows that the trade that these women are in is exploitive, abusive, and it kills them at very early age? And you know that these women are being forced into this life when they're children. So by the time you find her when she's a teenager or young woman, she's actually been in that trade for probably over a decade. But hey, it's legal, right? It's legal. So in certain countries, there's firing squads, lynching by tree. That's something that they want to bring back as legal here in the United States too. You good with that? And while we're talking about fixing something, bruh, this it needs an overhaul.
Right. The whole
A
thing.
complete 50-point inspecting overhaul. This whole spot right here, brother, it actually needs to be reupholstered, refurbished,
can't.
fix that first before you start trying to stitch something saying that like you did made a point. Man, y'all out here, bro, like y'all bad. Y'all got us looking bad, bro. Damn, this is embarrassing, man. Tighten this shit up.
Now, these passport bros are going out to all these different countries, third world countries, in particular countries that are very poor in resources or their country is destabilized. Places where the people are not, where the resources are slim pickings. So they're going out to these countries, and they in particular are picking countries where the women are specifically not black, specifically are not dark skinned black. And they're going out and they are, it's called sex traveling or something like that. But they're going out to these countries just to have sex with these girls. And they're going out to the Philippines and doing this. And the Philippines, hold on. The Philippines is not having it. I guess they've been doing it. Hold on. Let me see. They have the Philippines just, I don't know if I want to say. They are pushing to have that to where they can sue the father of the child that goes out there, because what they're doing is they're going out there and impregnating these women and then coming back to the US, leaving those children, just leaving them, just like they kind of do here, leaving these children to fend for themselves and the mothers. And if they already was in a situation where they was in a sticky situation, and now you come here and leave a child with them and then leave and dip out? Like what? So the Philippines, they had, I want to see if I can. Let's see. I see just, is this it? When was this? No, this was in 1993. But I can't find it here, but there was something that they're trying to do. They're trying to sue America for child support. I wonder if they have, the link to this. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, TikTok was cracking it, angry biracial, back with another one. Y'all know how I do. I gotta keep it 100 in all things. The Filipino government, the Philippine government is suing the United States for child support for over 8,600 Americans. And this is an older article, so I think it's a lot higher now. And this was in December 2022. This was not that long ago. The Philippines joined the Hague Child Support Agreement so they can enforce child support in the U.S. now. Y'all didn't know them Filipino women would hoodwinking your ass the whole time. They were playing the child support game on your ass the whole time. Y'all about to be paying some Filipino woman in the Philippines half of your paycheck every month to take care of your abandoned seed. And if you don't, they can enforce it here in America, according to the Hague Child Support Agreement. And I'm glad this is happening. Sex tourism has to stop. The amount of abandoned kids that are subject to mental, to trauma, emotional trauma, to poverty has to stop. Y'all want to talk about Hotep and pro-black, yet you're leaving half-black kids in countries that don't give a fuck about them. Y'all some of the biggest hypocrites on the fucking planet. You want to talk about black power this and black power that, yet you're abandoning half-black kids in countries that hate blackness. And now you motherfuckers gonna have to pay. I'm happy. Y'all need to be held responsible for your actions. And me, I practice what I preach. I'm a father of 6 fucking kids. I'm a husband of 11 years to the same woman. All my kids come from the same woman. I don't have any baby mamas or bastard kids. I'm a happily married man that take care of my responsibility because I'm a fucking man. And even though I'm biracial, the world sees me as they see you. I'm lumped in the same category as a lot of other black men. When I went to prison, they marked me down as a black man. When the cops come, they mark me down as a black man. And I don't want to be lumped in the same category with all you fucking Pookies and Ray Rays fucking up my image. Y'all better get ready. Y'all about to be paying child support out the ass. Half of the Philippines is going to be living fat off of you passport idiots. Would you expect the Filipino government to just keep taking care of your abandoned kids? And you think America is just going to pay the Filipino government for your abandoned kids? Nah, they're going to tax y'all asses. And then we're going to see a whole slew of black men on TikTok crying, they're taking half of my check to send it to the Philippines. They're doing this, they're doing that. No, there's holding responsible for your actions. Your kids are no one else's responsibility but you. And I'm here for it. I can't wait to see you all come on TikTok crying about all your money going over to support the kid you abandoned in the Philippines.
So that is the this passport epidemic. I don't understand why it has to be to where where men are, doing the sex tourism thing. It's so weird. Because there's this like full-blown campaign where men are disgruntled because women, they can't control women. So they're now going to these third world countries where they feel like they can control them with their money. They don't have very much money as it is, because recently a guy got abandoned out there. Let me see. One of those a guy got abandoned out there. Um, let me see. Yeah, he was begging somebody in the DR for help. But I was trying to find like a shorter video. Wait, what? Another passport bro passes away in the Philippines. Well, passport bros in Brazil. But yeah, I can't find like a short one. But these men are on this whole, I can't control women, so I'm going to make up all these lies, and then I'm going to go ahead and go and do some sex tourism, drop off a couple of babies in these women, leave these women like the way black men have been leaving black women. And I'm going to make sure that I smear their image just enough so that everybody believes it. So it's just the craziest thing. But this is starting to work. They are ruining the communities of other people groups, and they think that like this isn't going to be something that's going to come back on them, but it is going to be something that's going to come back on them. I just hope that, eventually the people that in the black community that actually want to see changes make those changes, and the people who want to continue to try to ruin the black community, they are left outside of the ones who want, like I feel like there definitely needs to be like a separation of the different men and the different men and women. And when I say men and women, I mean the men and women who want changes and the men and women who don't want changes. I think there should be a separation between the two groups, because right now is getting to the point where these types of men they have such a loud voice, they're self-destruction, and they're making it seem like the black community, that we're all complicit in this, almost like a Jim Jones situation, like a cult situation. Like we're all just trying to drink the Kool-Aid. We just want to end it now. Like what? I don't want to end it now, and I want my voice to be loud, and I wish that more voices were loud enough to push back. One day I'm going to have a loud voice, loud enough to say we don't agree with this degenerate behavior, and we want to separate from people who want to destroy the black community by their behaviors. But right now I just have this podcast, and so I'm going to just do what I can with just this with this channel, with my ministry, because I do think that there are good men and women in the black community, but there are also these men and women who are all over social media making it really bad for the dog, making it really bad for the rest of us. But all in all, though, I do have hope for our community, because I think there's enough of us that do want to see the changes. But this is one problem that we do need to make sure that we continue to keep an eye on, because the Jeffrey Epstein thing is directly tied to this sex tourism thing, because their traffic is still human trafficking. It's still human trafficking. These men just don't have the connections that they're not connected to Jeffrey Epstein's network. So they're going to the places where Jeffrey Epstein would get some of these girls. and pass them around to different clients, right? So it's the same thing. So what's happening on the outside of our community is happening on the inside of our community. And if men can't pimp women out anymore, then they're going to have a big fit about it and blame Black women for ruining the Black community because they can't use her body to make money. This country is going through a major recession. It's going through a major overhaul. There's been resources passed around. And while these men are out worried about how much sex they can get, somebody needs to be worried about who's going to help get the resources moved from point A to point B. And point A would be in politics or in the political sphere, and point B would be into our neighborhoods. And how can we get those resources dispersed enough to help heal the Black community? That really needs to be our focus instead of going across to Brazil and to the DR and to anywhere else but here to fix the problems and the issues that we have. We have a great responsibility, and that's to fix what's happening at home. And if these people don't want to do it, that's fine. Listen, I don't want to force anybody to do something they don't want to, because when you try to force somebody to do something or coerce them to do something they don't want to do, they're going to halfway do it. It's going to be real sloppy and it's not going to last. So I don't want them to do it if they don't want to do it, but I definitely I want to be involved for sure. But we have to keep an eye on these types of things because these are the macro issues that really have our community in a situation where we're not going to be able to move forward if we allow it to be a stronghold in our community. If women think that the only way out that they have is selling their body, we're not going to have a Black community because there's not going to be there's going to be no self-respect, no righteousness, no true leadership. So we have to get in front of it. All right. Well, that is going to be the end of the broadcast for tonight. It's been a wonderful time spent with you. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I want to do a special broadcast. We're going to just do like a reaction video. And I kind of want to go over some of the previous leadership that we did have in the Black community. We're going to go over some videos from infiltrators in the Black community that have admitted that they infiltrated the Black community and did interviews about them infiltrating the Black community in our different leadership organizations. I think that's important, so we know what worked in the past and compare that to what's happening right now. All right. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow. They'll be around the same time, around 8. I will see you tomorrow. Right. Christ love to you. Bye.